Today we're reading another Disney Princess Bedtime story, and Ash Jr., your favorite princess is Rapunzel, so I'm going to be reading a Rapunzel story. Rapunzel's Campout. Spring had finally arrived in Corona. The air was full of the sweet smell of flowers and the chirping of returning birds. All winter long, Rapunzel had been cooped up inside. She and her father had organized the royal ledgers. She and her mother had picked new pieces of art for the royal gallery. And she had helped the kingdom's planners prepare for the summer festival. Now, as she made her way through the village, Rapunzel began to skip. She enjoyed being helpful, but with the weather turning warm, she wanted adventure. She was ready to get outside and do something exciting. Rapunzel was turning a corner when she crashed into an older woman. "Oh," she said, startled. "I'm so very sorry." No need to apologize," the woman said with a smile. She was holding on to a small donkey hitched to a cart full of flowers. "I've just arrived in the village. I'm not used to so much commotion." Rapunzel tilted her head. "Do you not live here?" she asked. The woman shook her head. "Oh, I live wherever my feet take me," she explained. "My roof is the stars and my floor the green grass." As Rapunzel watched the woman go on her way, she had an idea. Sleeping under the stars sounded like just the sort of grand adventure she was looking for. Rapunzel couldn't wait to invite her friends and family. She was sure they would be as excited as she was. There was just one problem. No one could go with her. Rapunzel's parents were busy planning a royal dinner. "Oh, have fun, dear," the queen said as she looked over the invitations. "Be careful of wild animals," the king added, studying the ice sculpture the royal carver had created. Eugene was busy too. He was getting ready for a joust. "Sorry, Rapunzel," he said. "I need all the practice I can get." Eugene let out a shout as his horse spooked and jumped to the side, nearly tossing him to the ground. Regaining control, he added, "But be on the lookout for bears. I hear they're hungry this time of year." Rapunzel sighed. At least she had her trusty friend Pascal to keep her company. "We'll have a good time, just the two of us, right?" Pascal blinked his big round eyes and flicked out his long tongue. Rapunzel took that as a yes. "Come on," she said. "Let's go get some food." Rapunzel and Pascal headed to the royal kitchen to pack a basket of food. Rapunzel thought a bit of cheese, a loaf of bread, and some fruit would be just right. Just as she was reaching for the bread, the chef came in. Eager to help the princess, she insisted on packing the basket herself. By the time Rapunzel left the kitchen, she had 2 baskets overflowing with food she knew she would never eat. Next, Rapunzel went to pack a small bag, but when she got to her room, she found her mother's maid putting away the laundry. Before she knew it, Rapunzel had 2 small bags and a trunk full of dresses. "But I'm just going out for one night," she protested as the maid closed the trunk. "I won't need any of these things." The maid just shook her head and ordered a valet to take everything downstairs. Finally, her cart loaded with bags, Rapunzel set off. "We better get moving, Pascal," she told the chameleon. We need to find a place to set up camp before it gets dark." As Rapunzel drove the cart through the countryside, she swiveled her head left and right. At last, she came upon a large patch of clear ground beside a stream. Branches from a large willow tree provided just enough shade, and the trunk was a good place to rest her back. It was perfect. Rapunzel wasted no time. She unhooked the horse from the wagon and then set about collecting firewood. In no time, she had a pile of branches. Rapunzel stacked the branches in a circle, and then rubbing 2 pieces of wood together, she got a small fire going. It was just big enough to cook some food and keep her warm. Rapunzel looked at the baskets of food the chef had prepared, and then she reached into her bag, pulling out a net, and marched into the stream. Soon she had caught 3 fish for dinner. Rapunzel smiled. She was sure making dinner herself would be more satisfying than eating what the chef had sent with her. As the sun set, Rapunzel prepared her fish and cooked them over the fire. She had just taken her first bite when she heard a rustling noise behind her. Rapunzel jumped to her feet. Her father's warnings echoed in her mind. She heard the noise again. Taking a deep breath, Rapunzel stepped away from the campfire. The sound grew louder. It was coming from behind a large bush. Very carefully, Rapunzel walked up to the bush and peered through the branches. Her eyes narrowed, her nostrils flared, and then she burst out laughing. It was nothing but a small gray squirrel. Well, that's not gray. Oh, now, don't I feel silly, Rapunzel said to Pascal. Pascal nodded, and then he blinked 3 times. I know, Rapunzel answered. It was just a squirrel, but it could have been a bear. I need to be better prepared. Rapunzel knew just what to do. She grabbed a shovel and dug a large hole behind her camp. Then she covered it up with several green and brown dresses from her trunk. Next, she needed bait. Digging through the chef's basket, she pulled out a slab of meat. Using her net, she tied the meat to a tree branch hanging above the hole. If any animal tried to grab the meat, it would fall into the hole. Feeling much better, Rapunzel went back to relaxing by the fire. Then she heard a thud and a loud groan. Something had fallen into her trap. Running over, Rapunzel prepared herself to find a bear, but to her surprise, she found Eugene. He was laying at the bottom of the hole, covered in dirt. Eugene, what are you doing here? Rapunzel asked. Oh, I came to surprise you, Eugene answered. But I'm the one who got surprised. Laughing, Rapunzel helped Eugene out of the hole. Sorry, but you were the one who told me about the bears, she said, smiling. Oh, I should have known you would be fine on your own, Eugene said. Rapunzel nodded. I am, she agreed, but I'm glad you're here. A camping trip is always more fun when you have stories to share. And after day, I have plenty of those. Good night. I love you.